It is a brand new school year and you are ready to step into confidence within the classroom. The first tip that I have for you today is to make sure that you arrive early. I would say it's important 15 to 30 minutes ahead of time. And the reason I say that is if you're new to, brand new to the school, you've never been there, it's really important that you show up 30 minutes early so that you, one, know, you can get to the school and meet the office staff and know where you're going, know where you're going to have lunch, and you will know where the bathrooms are. That's important. Just to look over the lesson plans so that you know what's going on. So that's why I say that. The more you go back to the schools and the more familiar you are with them, then you can start to get there 15, 20 minutes ahead of time so that if you know that you need to set up, or you'll just be more experienced. So make sure that you do arrive early. Number 2 is to get to know the office staff. Majority of the times, I say majority of the times because sometimes that's not the case, and I'm sorry if you experience that, but the secretaries are one of the nicest people in the school, and they will be the ones to contact you if you want to come in for a day, if they need someone super quickly, or if you have any questions. They're always very patient, typically, and hopefully they are. They will be happy to help you with whatever you need. Number 3 is to know the policies. So knowing the policies is really important. So if you are in other school districts, one might have substitute teachers on Frontline and another one on Will Plus subs or another system. And so you need to know that. There could be other things too, like make sure that you do arrive 30 minutes early. Or maybe you don't need to go through a substitute teaching staff is what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is Kelly Education or Edu Staff or whatever it is. You might just have to go through the district, which would be nice. But you need to know that. So if you are still brand new, you've never subbed, or you're thinking of substitute teaching, that's something to go on the website for and to know. Also, when you're at school, I want to emphasize this as well. When you are at different schools, as you are typically for a day-to-day subbing position, you will have lockdown drills, and they may say different things in different buildings, and they may have different procedures that they want you to do and policies. So for example, there's one school that I had to go and text the secretary of, I don't think I texted, I had to use the computer, and I had to email her all of the students who were present and all of the students who were absent. Another school district, not district, I was in the same district, but another school that I was at had a QR code and had a sub folder, and I had to use that QR code, fill out a Google form, and voila. So you need to know the policies and all of that stuff. Number 4 is to read the lesson plans thoroughly. So it's so important. You are going to get lesson plans that'll say, welcome. They are doing page 28 in their workbooks. Thanks for coming in for today. Or then you're going to get the lesson plans that'll, and you're just going to sit there wow. And and you want to read them. You want to make sure that you sit there and you read them thoroughly, and you're not just going to read it thoroughly one time. You might read it, maybe not thoroughly every single time, but a lot of times. And I always would catch something new, oh, it's early release, or oh, they have an assembly. Oh, there's things that you might have missed the first time that you read it. So it's really important that you do that. And that's why, I think I even said it during that, but that's why I always say to you to arrive early so that you can sit there and go over the lesson plans. So that way you're not there when the students get there and then you're like, what am I doing? Number 5 is set expectations. If you have not been on my channel, then you wouldn't know this, but almost in every one of my videos, I tell you to set expectations at the beginning of class. The reason why is the students will take advantage of you. Even, I don't know how to say this, but even when you set expectations, they may even try to push buttons or your boundaries, and don't let them. But if you set expectations up on the board for them, saying like, work hard for the day, your teacher has this page for you to do, I will walk around and make sure that you are doing it, or make sure that you respect me, respect the objects in the classroom, things like that. They will learn to respect you. It's just good to have, because if you don't set them, then you will be saying a lot. You'll find yourself, and I did this too, you'll find yourself saying,
hey, you can't do that. Stop doing that. Hey, don't do that. That is not allowed in this classroom or in this school. Like, don't do that.
And you'll just be annoyed. So if you state it at the start of class and you say, today we are going to pay attention, and if someone in the classroom is talking, there's no other students talking. Or if you're in high school, you can say, when you are working, there are no cell phones out. When you are done with your work, show me your work, and then you can have your cell phone. Something along those lines. Just something that they can just listen to you, and your day will go faster and smoother. Number 6 is to learn the students' names. So important. One of the most important things in substitute teaching. And I think if I was a student today, which I know I was a student before, I would not like it if a sub came up to me and said, hey, you with the curly hair. I'd be like, okay, yeah, Alexa, right? Like, you would just kind of be like, you didn't even have the time to like look at that. Like, it's very good to say their names, oh my gosh, I cannot talk. Geez. It makes them feel valuable. It makes them feel like they are a person instead of like a number or like a thing in the classroom. So, and I feel like they are going to be better behaved when you know their names than if you just, again, say the girl with the curly hair. You have to go to the nurse. Number 7 is ask for help. Never, ever, ever, ever be embarrassed to ask for help. So important. When I first started subbing, I took pride in the fact that I went to school for education. But when I needed help, I needed help, and then I was embarrassed that the class was really bad, or I misunderstood a lesson thing. I don't know. And instead, I finally brought up the courage to ask, hey, what does this mean? Or how do I handle this student in class? What's your technique to help them calm down, or whatever the scenario is? And if that person doesn't know, someone in the building will know. So make sure that you ask your questions, and you will be asking questions all day long, most likely, from the time that you get there to the time that you're in the middle of class. Just ask your questions. You're not a burden, I promise. Number 8 is to have extra activities. So it's really important that, now you don't necessarily need to have extra activities, but it is really important, because some lessons, they'll literally, teachers will throw something at them for it's a 5-minute assignment. And you're like, great, now I have 42 more minutes. Or it's the kids have something on Google Classroom, and it's okay, well then they're like, oh, we finished it yesterday. Oh, okay. So it's you can have something like crossword puzzles. You could do coloring pages. You could do, there's a resource called Teachers Pay Teachers, and you can go on. It's free. It's a free account. You can pay for some things. I don't pay if you don't have to, but there are free things that you can print off and then ask the secretary to print more for you. So like if you already know that you're in 6th grade social studies, you can go and print a social studies sheet off. Or even if you know that you're in American government, find something in American government for 9th through 12th graders. Something along those lines. It's important. And you will be really glad that you did that in the long run. Number 9 is make sure that you clean up after yourself. This one is one where you would be thinking to yourself, what the heck? Like, why would you even put this on here? But it's just important. Some people just don't. There are teachers too who are very messy, so it might not be you. But I just want to emphasize the importance of just like making sure you keep the classroom neat and tidy, because you don't want that teacher coming back and being like, what the hell happened in here? You know, like they just want to come back feeling clean and fresh and they're ready to start with their students. And there might even be trash on the floor that students have made. You can even make it into a game and say, hey, 30 seconds, let's get all the scraps off the floor. Whoever is the first one to get 16 things, then you can get a treat, or you can be the first one to line up for the day. I don't know, making that up. But that I think would be a good way. That is a very good way to get help with the cleaning experience. Now that would be more elementary school, but yeah, it's just very important that you clean up after yourselves. So. And the last tip that I have for you today is to make sure that you leave notes. Now, you can leave notes saying, today was terrible, or today was a great day, thanks. Or you can, I will just emphasize to you that many teachers don't really like that. They like the detailed notes. So they like to know what students were absent, who was tardy, who misbehaved. Make sure you put the ones who did really well in class to get them praised. And that helps the kids who were misbehaving behave, because maybe there's incentives the teacher even has, or you know, it's a good thing to have. And even if you were going through the lesson plan and the bell rang, or it was a short class period, something happened, let the teacher know so that when they go in to class, they know right where they need to start. It's making their life easier and it's making your life easier. You don't have to do a lesson plan when you're a day-to-day sub. You just have to follow it. That's why they make lesson plans. All right, guys, these were my top tips that I have for you to fall back into school year. And I have a video linked here that will help you set your expectations. And I will see you there.